my living in vain? Is my body in vain? Is my passion in vain? Is my travel in vain? No, of course not. It's not all in vain. 'Cause after all, let it define. Lux, 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 Lady Lux, Lady Lux. Doesn't ain't no wear it out. Lady Lux, Lady Lux. Doesn't ain't no wear it out. Hopping out the bed, right? Gotta get my tummy tight. I'm gonna get my body wrapped today. That means you on, right? Let's spin the block to the group home. See what them boys on. Looking out for them men, making them feel like who? Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. 4 days and 3 nights. Lux, get your flight right. Tune in to Biz One, 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. Fashion talk, let's not forget where you get your fashion pick. Latest fashion in the mix. Yeah, you know it's gonna be lit. Ow. 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 Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Ow. Ow. Lady Lux. Yeah. Hey y'all, welcome to the Lady Devine show, y'all. I got a real special guest today, attorney Clyde Bennett here, and we're gonna just talk about some things that's going on in the world and in his world as well, because you know he got a whole big old world. So I need y'all to sit back, get y'all wine, and just relax and check us out, y'all. Yeah. So what's been going on, y'all? I heard Ashanti and Nelly about to have a baby. You heard about that?
I didn't hear about that.
What you think about going back to old love? Is that cool?
If you in love and you still love that person, even though you was with them in the past, go get them.
Go get them. So shouts out to Ashanti. Girl, baby girl, you got you one. Keep them. Congratulations on your new baby. And I heard this morning Trump is running again for president. Oh God. He already saying he about to put border up that wall, and it's no telling what's gonna come out of this. So Biden, he's trying to run again. I don't know if he's gonna make it, but we need somebody strong and powerful in there, like a Michelle Obama. That's what I think. What you think?
I think, I don't want to disclose my political affiliation or allegiance, but I'll tell you one thing. Don't be surprised if Donald Trump is the Republican candidate. There's legal maneuvers and actions to try to keep him off the ballot. I think they're going to be unsuccessful at doing that. And there's a lot of people in the United States that love Donald Trump that won't say it on the radio or won't say it to their neighbor or their teacher or their friend, but in fact, they'll vote for him in that booth. So don't be surprised if Donald Trump is the candidate for the Republican Party.
Oh, wow.
And if he is a Republican Party candidate, I think there's a pretty good chance he'll beat Biden.
I think we need to get back to that rock the vote, go out there and get all the college students involved, the black college students, make sure they voting, because I don't know, I'm not feeling too safe with that, you know. I'm really not. So I got on my Cali Diva shirt, y'all, because tonight is our first night that we're doing Ladies Night and Poetry. So I want y'all to come out to the Cali Bar and support Ladies Night. And I'm going to show you the commercial right now.
Yo, big up Cincinnati, this your boy Joe Dapper from Dada Shock World Music Sound, representing for Wet Wednesdays, Ladies Night Reggae, 9 p.m. through midnight, with exclusive poetry and open mic sessions, and the hottest reggae, dancehall, and Afrobeats and R&B in the city. So come home and vibe at the Cali Bar and Grill, 1227 California Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. Come catch me there. Boom.
right, so we're back. Thanks again for tuning in to the Lady Devine Show. We have attorney Clyde Bennett here, and we're going to talk about the young Clyde Bennett. I think when you were younger, your name was Butch.
A lot of people still call me Butch.
Do they?
That's the name my aunt gave me, and if somebody calls me Butch, that means that's a day one. We go way back.
Way
I know
back.
that person is a friend. It has nothing but love for me.
Nothing but love.
So I like hearing Butch, but
Do
I don't
you?
hear it that often.
Okay, so tell me about your childhood. What happened? What went on? Where you lived at? What kind of things you like to do? Were you always about law?
Not really. My father was about law, but on the other side of the law, and that was my first exposure to the law. Was the police officers raising hell with citizens in English Woods. I was born and raised in English Woods, and that was my first experience with the law. Was the Cincinnati Police Department doing whatever they did in English Woods, and my father having contact with the police, and then going to the courthouse with his cases. And that exposed me to not only police officers, but the law, judges, and so forth. So my first experience as a child growing up in English Woods was going to court with my father and seeing what would happen to black criminal defendants down there at the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas, even as a child. And it had an impression on me.
So you were actually interested in that. It was like mind-blowing.
It was mind-blowing, but I always wanted to be a doctor because my mother worked at a hospital and she wanted me to be a doctor. So I studied pre-medicine at the University of Cincinnati. My degree is in biochemistry.
So what kind of doctor were you going to be?
I don't know. I think I was going to be an obstetrician gynecologist, but of course I went to law school instead of medical school. But my mother wanted me to be a physician. She didn't want me to be a lawyer, but I wanted to be a lawyer. So I disappointed her, but I think she's happy now.
So you went from English Woods to Lincoln Heights, right?
From English Woods to, Lincoln Heights.
Lincoln Heights.
Yeah.
So what was it like out in Lincoln Heights
It was rough.
at the Sugar Shack? Y'all lived across the street from the Sugar
We
Shack,
lived
right?
up the street
Up
from
the street?
up the street from the Sugar Shack, 1010 Jackson Street, right in the corner of Jackson and Leggett. It was rough in Zone 15.
It was
still
rough.
is.
It was rough.
It was.
They gave you problems?
They didn't give me problems as an individual, but growing up in Lincoln Heights, it's a socioeconomically depressed area, and it's a ghetto.
So did you ever get bullied?
No, I didn't get bullied.
Oh, you was too tired to get bullied.
No, I didn't get bullied. I wouldn't say I was a tough guy either, but no, I didn't get bullied.
Okay.
When I say tough, it wasn't that kind of tough. I'm talking about tough like making ends meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eating, gas and light being turned on.
Right.
You know, having clothes.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they weren't ready for that, huh?
Well, my mother did the best she could do, along with your uncle. Yeah. So I'm not complaining.
That's right.
Yeah.
'Cause we had good lives.
We did.
And good
You had a
times.
real good life. Your life was better than mine.
Don't tell
Your life was way better than mine.
No. You know, you all was always welcome to our house.
We always came to your house.
You always had all kind of. Why my mama had like 20 boxes of cereal? I never understood that.
Because your
Like,
mother was a very beautiful, nice, generous woman that cared for everybody. That's why. And Barbara was all that. So that's why she was just very benevolent and very generous.
She was. So you come to my house and you might find all kind of cereal and you be like, why they get all this? But that's how she was. So, growing up in the ghetto, going through a lot of things and adversities, what can you tell these young people that's still in the ghetto with that mindset? How can they change themselves and turn their life around to be something different?
There's a way out. And the way out is find out what your passion is. Find out what God wants you to do with your life. And so many people don't do that. Everybody has a Michael Jordan inside of them. You got to find it. You're on this earth for a reason, and you have to find out, why did God put me on this earth? You have to develop a relationship with God and then pray to God, what is it that you want me to do? I need to practice law, could be being an engineer, could be a teacher, whatever it may be. It could be a basketball player. I mean, that might be your destiny. But you have to find out what it is. And I think if you pursue that, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place. And your journey, if you do what God wants you to do, He'll bless you. And you'll have things that you never imagined. Everything will just fall into place.
Would you say that parenting is different today than it was back in our days?
Yes. The first thing I would say is that the family unit, the African American family unit, is not intact like it used to be. So back in the 50s and the 60s, when I came up in the 60s and the 70s, like you, 70s and 80s, there was a black family unit. Typically, there was a mother and a father, a husband and a wife, and their children. We don't see that as much anymore. The family unit's not intact, and it's having a very negative impact on our youth, a very, very negative impact on the black community. So the biggest difference between the black family now and then is that the black family now doesn't exist like it did back then. Most people don't have a mother and a father, or their mother and father.
Right.
I mean, back when we was coming up, like you had your mother and father. I had your uncle as my stepfather, and then my mother. Most people had a family unit, and if you have a family unit, that transcends the ghetto. That transcends your socioeconomic environment. If you got a black man and a black woman rearing you, I mean, you can move mountains and you can do monumental things if you had that family support, regardless of your socioeconomic status. And now I just don't see it as much. I see a lot of single black women raising children. And, I don't like that. And it's hard. They can do it, but it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference I see.
What's going on with our black men? Why aren't they holding on to the responsibilities of what they created?
That is a $1 million question. And I can't paint everybody with the same brush.
And it's not.
But I would say that why are black men irresponsible and not accountable for their family and their children and their women? And to me, that's very, very enigmatic because it's really natural. I mean, I have a wife, I have 2 children, and it's natural for me to do everything for them. And I didn't have to be taught that, even though I had some great examples. Again, one was your uncle. But before then, I didn't have that example. My father wasn't that way, and there was a lot of men in English Woods, when they were present, they were not that way. But even as a child, naturally, I knew, like, something was wrong here for all of these women to be with all of these children. Where are the men?
Yes.
And it wasn't until I was able to go out to Woodline and live with my aunt and my uncle and see the family unit intact, and then see people like your family, and then when my mother married your uncle, to see, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. So some of them can be exposure and experience, not having a black male show you what a black man should be. But I think at some point, as a man, as a teenager, maybe even as a child, you know as a man what you should be doing. And for some reason, I don't know, a lot of us don't do that.
Do you think that our black men is lacking self-esteem for themselves?
No.
No?
Absolutely not. Black men have more confidence, more swag than any other group of men I can think of.
Okay.
Black men are very, very confident. They're very confident. They have a lot of self-esteem. That is not the problem.
So is it okay if their significant other, their wife or girlfriend, makes more money than them? Does that make them feel lesser of a man?
I think that's going to make a lot of men potentially feel lesser or be intimidated.
And so that's how our society is set up. I think that it's set up to make the black man feel like he's not as good or powerful as his woman.
Yes. I don't know if I would say society is set up that way. I think that's the way it is. I think racism and oppression has a very negative impact on black men, and it puts a black man in a box where he might not feel as confident as any other man. But I think as an individual, you can transcend that. I know too many black men that are doing very, very well that have not allowed racism, oppression, systematic or institutional setbacks to stop them from doing what they're doing. That doesn't mean that we all can make it that way, but I raised my son that that's not an excuse. You got to get out there and take what's yours. Regardless of the forces against you, take what's yours. I mean, you got a right in this country, in this world, to have what everybody else has. Train yourself, go out there and take it.
Yeah.
And he's doing it. Not because he's so great, but that's the way he was trained. So I say that to say, I think we can make it happen. That doesn't mean everybody can make it happen, but I believe in being the master of your fate and the captain of your soul.
Right.
And not letting another man, I don't care how powerful he is, determine your fate and your destiny.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I feel, and that's the way I raise my son, and that's what.
It's Devine.
What? Yes, I have my own products. Yes.
She got some scalp therapy, some body butter. This is some beard butter for you beard gang men. And then she has a conditioner here. Oh, these are slimming gels, you guys. So that's gonna help you slim down, right along with you a waist trainer. This is a waistband, actually. You know what? I heard the waistbands are a lot better than the waist trainers. Yes. And more comfortable, a little more flexible, especially for us BBWs, y'all.
So y'all check out my products. Y'all can order them anytime at DevineLux.com. I have hair scalp therapy for your edges.
Yo, big up Cincinnati. This your boy Joe Dapper from Donna Shock World Music Sound, representing for Wet Wednesdays, Ladies Night Reggae, 9 p.m. through midnight, with exclusive poetry and open mic sessions, and the hottest reggae, dancehall, and Afrobeats and R&B in the city. So come home and vibe at the Cali Bar and Grill, 1227 California Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. Come catch me there. Boom.
Yo, this is Bass Pro DJs with my girl Lady Devine, you know what I'm saying, on Visit One Radio. Yo, check out at 7 o'clock. I'm from Florida. She going all the way to Ohio. You know how we do it. Check out Lady Devine 1.
There's a whole lot of brothers that are doing very, very well. There's a lot of brothers that are confident in a lot of areas. You just have to be confident and have high self-esteem when it comes to your woman and your children.
Right.
So if you can rap, you can buy cars, and you can do this and you can do that, you can put that same effort into your child.
Exactly.
To make sure your child goes to the best school, to make sure your child has the best tutors, to make sure he gets the best ACT score, to make sure he's doing the best he can in school, to make sure he goes to college. So it can be done. You just got to put your efforts into, channel your efforts into the area of your woman and your child first. Everything else comes after that. Cars, clothes, houses. Take care of your woman and your children.
So is it true a happy wife is a happy life?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes, yes.
So tell me about your the college years. Your college years, and you joined a fraternity, right. And how was that? You went to UC, and then you went to another.
I went to the University of Cincinnati, and then law school went to Dayton. But you speaking of my wife, when I think about college, I think of my wife because that's when I met Tracy, and that's my angel on earth. I mean, without her, I wouldn't be here. They always say like there's behind a good man, there's a woman. I'm a testament to that.
So what was it like when you first seen her? What were you thinking when she ran across campus?
I thought she was fine. Like, damn, she fine. You know what I mean? But remember, I'm like a 19-year-old man. So what you're looking at is she fine. But after we started going out and she became my girlfriend, I said, okay, this is gonna be the mother of my children.
So how did you approach her?
I think I just went up and talked to her.
Did you really?
Asked for a telephone number or something.
Did you?
Yeah. Take what you want, or try to
That's
take
right,
it.
try to.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, back then, it ain't like now. You got women chasing men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm traditional. I'm a hunter. So if I see something, I'm going for it. And I saw Tracy, and I was like, wow. And then I asked her for a number, and then we started going out. I fell in love, but I knew she would be the mother of my children because she possessed all of the components of womanhood that I wanted. And the main one was not that you're beautiful, but you will be a great mother. You love children, you're smart, my children are gonna be smart, you're gonna raise the children, that's gonna be something that you wanna do. And she had those two things in addition to being beautiful. And then everything else just flowed from that. But lately, after getting married, then I learned that this woman is an angel. This woman is praying for me. This woman is covering me. It should be the other way around. I should be covering her spiritually. she covers me. I mean, without her prayers or without her doing the spiritual things that she's done for me, I wouldn't be here.
I agree.
I've been through a lot, and she's been right there with me, and we've been through it.
Yeah.
So that's my
And stuff
that's my
with
body. Yeah, absolutely.
And Tracy, by the way, she still looks the same as she looked in college.
I don't know how she does it.
It's like that Benjamin Button. She just
Right,
go backwards. I mean, she is small as
Right.
Paige.
And she don't work out that much. Really, she walk a little bit, but I mean, she looks like she did when I met her when she was 18 or 19, and she in her late 50s. So I don't see how she does it. No
She still
surgery,
has
no
that
nothing.
beautiful smile on her face. Like she just goes brightens the room.
Yeah.
So
I'm blessed.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So didn't you pledge for what fraternity?
I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
And it was, when I got on campus, it was some black men that was just doing incredible things as far as scholarship, manhood, friendship. And I was, as a freshman, I was like, man, look at these brothers, man. The main thing I saw that they were intelligent men, strong men, proud men, intellectual men, leaderly men that were doing things, and very, very friendly men. And I thought I would like to be a part of that group. So that's what I was exposed to locally. And then once I started doing my research, I learned what Omega Psi Phi was nationally and globally. Like, you know, I want to be an Omega. So I pledged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And to this day, we have. I'm not a member of the graduate chapter here in Cincinnati, so I don't take credit for anything that they've done. But those brothers in the Beta Iota chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the Star chapter, they do an incredible job in the city.
Wow.
I mean, an incredible job. They do so many things for the community, and I'm proud of them. But again, that's a shining testament to what Omega is, and I can't take credit for that, but I'll give it to them to let people out there know Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is about serving.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. So, you wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your book.
I didn't publish it.
You did not.
I did not. It's a book about, basically it was a book about me. I never published it.
Why?
Got busy practicing law again and said, you know what, I'm just going to move forward and put all the things that I put in that book behind me. But it basically was the rise and fall that I experienced personally from coming from English Woods and then, you know, becoming a partner of the largest law firm in the city of Cincinnati, and then going to prison, and then coming back out and starting again. So, of course, when I was in prison, I wrote that book, because I was in prison for about 18 months, and I wrote like 5 or 6 hours a day, and then I would work out 2 or 3 hours a day, and then I would help other people with their cases 2 or 3 hours a day, then work out again for another hour or two, and then go to sleep, wake up, and do it again for 18 months. So the book was written in, I think, based on what I read and based on what I hear and what I see, my book would have been a pretty good book. But I just probably want to keep that to myself.
Really? You never want to let that go?
No.
Because I think I think it would be a great movie.
It'd be a good book. I don't know about a movie, but the book, based on what I read, what other people like as far as books, and the books that I read when I was in prison, because I read a bunch of books. My book is right there.
So we at Busy One, we are doing movies.
Right.
And I would love to do the movie about Clyde, Bennett, the third.
It's really about pride before destruction, how you are so prideful, you're so egotistical, you don't adhere to God's commands, you're wrapped up into yourself, you're feeding the flesh, and you're not really following the counsel of the greatest counselor, and you just have too much pride. Mm-hmm. And if you had that, you're going to be destroyed. And I could have been destroyed, not once but twice, but God said, I'm not going to allow that to happen to you. So
you had that angel praying for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An angel is a conduit between you and God. So that's how I get blessed time and time again. I probably need to do more on my own, but yes, that's definitely one of the reasons why I stand before you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing how you could be gone for a minute and then you come back and you right back strong as you was. Like what? You was, built up and everything. You came out ready. Like, this dog ready right now. Let's do it.
Right. It's I think not just me. I think that's how a lot of black people are. We're just that way. Weeping may endure the night, but joy cometh in the morning. Look at what we've been through as a people. I mean, to be brought over here in ships, to be enslaved for hundreds of years, and we've been president of the United States, and look how black men and black women are doing now as a people, how we're doing. We still got issues. We got major problems, but I think not just me, but there's a lot of people that are doing things, and we're doing things as a group of African Americans that are a testament to the strength, the unparalleled strength of African Americans, particularly the black woman.
Yeah, particularly. I wish I would see more of us getting together and trying to make things happen instead of it's a lot of people that's just like they want to step on you because they see you rising.
Right.
Instead of coming together and say, hey, how can we get together and make this better for both of us? You know, they want to put you down or they want to, you know.
See, we're not there yet, but some would argue that is because of outside or external factors in the African American community. I hate to keep blaming racism, but
it is.
Cincinnati, the metropolis of Cincinnati, the city of Cincinnati, African Americans in Cincinnati are different. They say like Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit,
very different.
New York. I mean, we have more of a crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yes.
Where you just don't want somebody else to do well, because that's an indication that you're not doing well or not doing as good as them, and you have a problem with that. So. You might not necessarily want to herald that person or uplift them. You try to bring them down. A lot of jealousy, a lot of hatred. I don't see it as much in Atlanta and other places. I don't frequent a lot of other places, but I go to Atlanta a lot, and everybody down there is just doing well, and everybody wants other black folks to do well. Other black folks go to black folks. My doctor's black. My lawyer is black. My dentist is black. My real estate agent is black. You know, you don't have that here to the extent that you do in other black metropolises, and I wonder why. Here, you know, people pride themselves on living in a white neighborhood, being the only black person. I mean, just nonsense like that. So I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati with respect to that type of mentality or that type of attitude, but I think it's different than a lot of other cities.
It is
I'm not
different.
that way, and I know a lot of people that are not that way, but I know a lot of people that are.
Yes, unfortunately. So where do you see yourself? How much longer do you feel that you're gonna practice law?
I go to the gym every day. I go hard in the gym. I'm in good health. This is my passion. This is what God wants me to do, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I pray and He says, do something else or stop doing what you're doing. You know how like Sunday night rolls around and people be like, oh, it's Sunday. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Dang. See, I don't feel that way. So when Sunday night rolls around, if I'm not tired, I'm ready to go in there on Monday and get somebody out of jail or stop somebody from going to jail. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy doing that. And it just so happens that, you know, I get paid to do it. So that's my passion and I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Just like if somebody can play football and they keep playing unless they got old and, you know, physically couldn't do it anymore. I enjoy what I'm doing. That's why you need to find out what your passion is. It makes life completely different.
Doesn't it?
So I'm not going home tonight thinking like, dang, I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. No, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep waking up. Like tomorrow I'm gonna be able to get somebody out of jail or stop somebody from going to jail. I'm gonna be the case.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I wanna do. That's just like somebody else saying, okay, it's Friday night, a high school football player said, the game is at 7 o'clock, I can't wait.
Right.
I feel that way. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's why I don't have a timeline. I don't feel like, man, I can't wait till I retire. You know, I got 2 more months left. I mean, I only got 2 more years. I don't think that's a miserable life. To be doing something that you can't wait to stop doing, I don't want to live like that. And I thank God that I don't have to because I found my passion.
Yes, that's what's up. Because I remember seeing Leslie Isaiah Gaines. He was one of my neighbors. Mm-hmm. And he practiced law until he just gave up. You know, his body gave up.
He got sick. That man is the reason why he's one of the reasons why I practice criminal defense. And I'm a lawyer. When I lived in English Woods, I used to catch the bus downtown to see Leslie Isaiah Gaines in court. To look at him. And just to look at him try cases. He had a great impression on me. He was Leslie Isaiah Gaines and Ken Lawson, incredible lawyers. Incredible lawyers, natural trial lawyers. And both of them had a very significant impact on me, and I stand on their shoulders now, practicing law here in Cincinnati based on what they've done.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I thought they were awesome too.
They were great lawyers.
Yes.
I mean,
Fantastic.
Great to the point where, Ken and Leslie, they try cases, they beat cases, they fall for people. I don't see that from a lot of lawyers. I don't see a lot of lawyers trying cases. I see a lot of lawyers handling cases and getting retainers. But who can just stand up there in front of a jury and fight and try to get an acquittal? Scott Croswell is one of them, but then Scott's a white lawyer. Scott was a great lawyer. I used to watch him like I used to watch Game. He impressed me too and inspired me. But Les Isaiah Gaines and Ken Lawson, incredible lawyers. And they're very, very inspirational.
Much like yourself.
Yeah.
And how do you fight those cases so good and win cases? You're winning, just
Right.
winning. I see our wins.
Right.
That's all we see.
I lose cases too, but I win most of them. God, if you're doing what God wants you to do, and this is what God wants, He's going to bless you. So things that'll happen that you really don't have control over, like things will happen not because of you, it'll happen through you, it'll happen for you, but you're really not the person that's responsible for it. Somebody's blessing you. You've got divine intervention. Something's going on here. So that's when you know you are in your proper place. This is what God wants you to do. He'll make ways for you when you can't make a way.
Of course, I support Devine Lux. Go visit our website at www.divinelux.com. Don't forget for your listening pleasure, catch your show, Fashion Talk, on Busy One Radio. Live 365, every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Don't miss the next HBCU Classic Experience by On Impact Promotions, November 15th through 17th, 2024. Call 513-602-7289 to get involved.
I support Divine Deluxe, and so should you. Check her out at divinedeluxe.com. And she'll get you right. Yeah, for the gentleman. Y'all see that.
Y'all, this your boy Alcatraz. Make sure y'all check out Busy One Radio, Lady Divine Fashion Talk Show. They go down every Wednesday. Ow.
When I'm getting ready for my night out, I use Divine Essentials Foundation to give me the coverage that makes me feel like a superstar. The smooth satin finish that it gives me on my face makes me feel like I'm getting ready to walk up onto the runway. Dare to be different with Divine Essentials Foundation and Makeup Line.
Yourself, and you're like, how did I win that case? Well, you got blessed. This is what God wanted to happen. It was divine intervention. So what I do is on every case, I put my best foot forward. I give 110%. I do everything I can do. And then I pray for my client. And if you do those two things with my talent and skill, and you take the work ethic and you take the blessing from God, we're going to get results that other people can't get.
That's awesome, because you never hear attorneys say that they pray for their clients.
Yeah.
You never hear that.
I pray for my clients every morning. And some people have an issue with that, because how can you pray for a person that killed somebody or raped somebody? What you have to look at is this: the Constitution of the United States says that any person charged with the commission of crime is entitled to effective assistance of counsel. That is the law. So if you're a lawyer and you take that oath, that's the Constitution and law you've got to uphold. If you're a criminal defense attorney, then that's what you have to do. A lot of criminal defense attorneys, they don't have a stomach to do that, don't have a constitution to do that. They have a problem, and they're conflicted with, man, how can I represent somebody if he did this or if he did that? Well, don't do it. Find something else to do. That's where you need to find out what your passion is. Does God really want me to do this? So when that storm is blowing and people criticize you, have a problem with what you do, you stand tall like a tree that's firmly entrenched into the earth or the ground, and you don't move, because this is what God wants me to do. When you have that shield,
Right.
nothing can penetrate that shield. So you can say what you want about me. I'm gonna fight this case.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
I've seen that. I've seen the comments, and I'm like, what? What are you saying? What?
Yeah.
You're going too far.
But I understand how people say that, and you know, I'm human. I mean, I've got a bunch of murder cases. I've won a lot of murder cases. I feel for that family, and every now and then, if the family is professional enough or approachable enough, I'll say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm just doing my job.
Right.
But if I decide to take money from somebody and they hire me to fight the case, then that's what I'm going to do to the best of my ability. And I've got to look at my client and try to beat the case regardless of what he or she may have done, and regardless of the victim or the family. If I'm going to have sympathy for the victim and let that impact or influence the representation I provide, then I need to be doing something else. And there's a lot of lawyers who are criminal defense lawyers who they might let that impact them. I'm not one of them. So, because this is what God wants me to do, and if somebody hires you for a job, Elaine taught me this, your aunt, you do it.
You do it.
You do it till your job is done. So that's how I represent people that are charged with heinous, egregious crimes, because this is what my God wants me to do.
So how many wins and how many losses?
This year, I had a bunch of wins. I've won more murder cases than any other lawyer in the state of Ohio.
Wow.
It's not even close. But this year alone, I've won 6 murder cases in a row, a total of 7. And probably about 30 or 40 other cases besides the murder cases. My website indicates demonstrates a lot of other cases. But I've had a good year, and I've had a good career, and I don't even think I'm in the 4th quarter. I like to say I'm in the 3rd quarter. I'm gonna go as long as God wants me to go, and I'm healthy, and I'm lean, and I'm hungry.
And you're hungry.
Still hungry. You gotta stay hungry.
You gotta stay hungry.
If you're not hungry, don't do it. Let somebody else do it.
Exactly.
Right. If you're not hungry for your client, you're not passionate for your client, and you don't want to beat the case, and you don't want to stay up all night and can't sleep because you're thinking about doubting this case, if you're not doing that, do something else.
It takes a lot, don't it? You study hours and hours and hours on your cases.
You do. I'm not the only one that does that, but there's a lot of folks that don't do that. But that's what you have to do if you're going to give your client 110%. And if you do that, you're going to be successful. Again, it all goes back to this. That's easy to do if you're doing something that you want to do. And if you're doing God's will and you pray to Him and you find your passion, then you'll want to do that. And it's not that hard to do.
Right.
Because you like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't have that, though.
Don't.
The vast majority of people are not doing something that is their passion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they don't want to go to work tomorrow. They don't like Sunday nights. And they want to retire.
I don't want to get up. I dread this. So, where do you get your style from? Because you just be...
Yeah, I get my style from Clyde, my father.
Okay.
My father was a great dresser. And actually, I get a lot of what I have. I get it from my mother and father, but I can tell a lot of things that I have. Courtroom savvy, the ability to persuade people, the ability to speak, think, critically thinking, charisma, all of that stuff comes from Clyde. All of it. And my father wasn't a lawyer. My father was a hustler. And that's an example of what you can do if you find your passion. You pray to God. Because I could have easily been a drug dealer or a hustler. Because that's what everybody I was around did. And that's what my father did. And that was a crossroads for me. But Elaine said, I want you to be a doctor or a lawyer. But I thought about doing other things, and I get it from Clyde. Yeah. I wasn't close with my father, but he was a very, very stylish man.
Was he?
And had a lot of personality. And not as gregarious as I am, if I am gregarious, more so than he was, but I get a lot of my personality and a lot of my style from my father.
And I would say, your brother and your sister, y'all all act alike. Y'all all have that same personality in a sense. And it's you can tell y'all brothers and sisters.
I guess then it comes from Clyde, because my mother's kind of quiet and sweet.
Very.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Until you
get right.
Yeah, until that time comes, you're like,
right.
All right now.
Right. So I don't know. I'm gonna attribute the style to Clyde, my father.
So your mom just celebrated her
80th birthday. We had a ball dinner.
Yes, that's amazing.
And she looked good. Now she's still getting around. She's still moving. I was like, now I look like my mama, but yeah, I'm like, wow, this is good. She's still doing this. So I should be doing good what I'm in, you know. But she's blessed, and I'm blessed to have her as my mother. And we had a great time.
Yes.
And she's still going out, like 80 years old, still go to dinner, still want to go here, want to go there, still driving, you know. She's going on a cruise for her birthday, you know. She's blessed to be 80 years old and doing that. So
yes,
I'm happy
awesome.
for her. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. So we're gonna take a break real quick and see you back in a minute. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yo, big up Cincinnati, this your boy Joe Dapper from Donna Shock World Music Sound, representing for Wet Wednesdays, Ladies Night Reggae, 9 p.m. through midnight, with exclusive poetry and open mic sessions, and the hottest reggae, dancehall, and Afrobeats and R&B in the city. So come home and vibe at the Cali Bar and Grill, 1227 California Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. Come catch me there. Boom.
I try to do what I can. So thanks for tuning in to the Lady Devine Show, y'all. We here with attorney Clyde Bennett the second. So and we have a third, right? Your son.
That's my son, yeah, Clyde. That's my life. That's everything to me. Paige and Clyde. I mean, that's what it's all about.
So Clyde, I know Clyde is more of a mommy's boy.
He loves his mama. And Paige loves his mama too. Both of them.
Our moms.
Yeah, they deal with Tracy, man. They love Tracy. Now, I'm their daddy, they love me, but they both.
Yeah.
You know, they both.
So what is he doing now?
Clyde is, he was an investment banker for 2 years. He graduated from Ohio State in finance. He got a real good job as an investment banker at Piper Sandler, headquartered in Minnesota. And then he got promoted into private equity. So he was with a private equity firm out in the West Coast, actually Denver, Colorado, doing very well. So he's on a whole different level. And then Paige graduated from Ohio State, then she went to Vanderbilt, graduated from their psychiatric nurse practitioner program. She's a psychiatric nurse practitioner in Dallas, Texas. So my baby's a
psychiatric
nurse practitioner.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and she was home for Thanksgiving, and she can evaluate and treat psychiatric clients remotely, or patients remotely, because it's not physical. It's more of an oratory assessment. And she was doing it, and just listening to her was like, that's my baby. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. I mean, you know, when she's doing her trade, it's like, you know, she's a woman. I mean, not only is she a woman, she's a psychiatric nurse practitioner. She knows her stuff. It makes me proud. And then when I see my son being an investment banker and then in private equities, and he's you know, participating in buying one company and improving that company and selling it again. They just bought a company for $1.6 billion. The firm that he's with, and he was a part of that. And it was like they're on a different level. I couldn't grasp or imagine things like that when I was a child or when I was in college. I thought it would be a big deal just to become a lawyer. They're way beyond me. But again, that's the family unit. When you keep the family unit intact.
Yes.
So I attribute that to their mother first and myself. Staying married and raising kids and putting 100% into the kids, you reap what you sow.
Yes.
And we're not the only ones doing that. There's a lot of people doing that. A lot of my friends, their sons and daughters are doctors and lawyers and engineers.
That's awesome.
That family unit is intact, and the mother and father have been married, and they stayed married, and they put into the children. That's what we need to do as a community.
Yeah.
And we don't do that a lot. So we're not the only ones that have children that are doing well. There's a lot. Most of my close group friends have children that are just doing it. But the commonality is they're all married, and they've all been married for like 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So to me, that would be the model. The motto is family first,
Family first.
One team, one family, one goal. You know, God, the team is a family, and then the goal is to serve God, serve your spouse, serve your children, serve your extended family, your community, and your country. So if you do that, if you just put God first and have your family, stick with your family, marry that woman, you know, take care of your children. As a whole, the tide will rise, and the Black community in general, and African Americans in the United States will improve and do better. But statistics say that that's not happening. We're going the other way.
And we have organizations out there that have programs. So
Right.
it's mind-boggling to see what's going on today with our younger kids that's killing each other. They're not fighting. They're just, the first thing they pick up is they're not even thinking.
Right.
What's my consequence if I do this?
That is true. I think a lot of crime and a lot of violence, I think I attribute a lot of it to, I hate to keep using the word, but racism and the predicament and the peril and the circumstance of a lot of our people. A lot of people don't know better. A lot of people don't value life, don't value Black life, because you'll notice you don't hear about a lot of Black folks killing white folks.
Right.
Why is that? Why can you so easily kill your brother, but you can't kill, not saying that you should kill somebody white, but typically that's because you don't value Black life. You've been taught not to value Black life, and you've been taught not to value Black life from white Americans. It's not an excuse because you're responsible for your own acts, but this is where I think it comes from. You know, we don't value each other's life, so we can easily take it, easily destroy it because you don't value it. And a lot of times you don't value your own life, because if you value your own life, it's hard for you to kill another man because you value and love your own life. So you know what you're taking when you do that. But it's a lot of disgruntled, unhappy people who really don't like themselves.
Right.
Where does self-hate come from? I mean, where does that come from? Where does self-hate and a lack of love for your fellow man, your fellow African American, where does that come from?
Where does it come from?
It's not innate, it's not natural. I think it comes from the country and the world that we live in, particularly, I mean, this country, the United States, and I attribute that to decades and hundreds of years of racism starting with slavery. And we got to break that mold.
We got to break it.
Because we know what it is, well, now you have to do something about it.
Right.
So then as a father, you got to tell your daughter you love yourself. As your son, you love yourself. You love Black people. I mean, you look at us and show them the positive so that they have a high value system for themselves and a high value system for their brothers and sisters.
Yes.
So that they're not capable of doing the things that some other people can do, and that they value themselves and go out and do great things like they're supposed to do, like they're destined to do. And I see this really, Kim, I'll be honest with you, I see two different worlds. I see
I'm ready. My name's Howard Johnson. I live in DeLand, Florida. I downloaded Live 365, and I now listen to Busy One Radio, thanks to Kimberly, my sister.
Do you have belly rolls like this? Do you have the chicken wing arm like this? Or experience fat rolls like this? I suggest you try Devine Essentials Lipo in a Jar. Brought to you by Devine Lux. Lipo in a jar slims your body, firms your body, reduces cellulite, and burns fat, all at the same time.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Kim, you asked me to send you, how I feel about Deluxe and the things that you are doing in our environment. Let me tell you then, everything you have touched since I've known you has been gold. Your love for the people. I know these things personally. Hey y'all, you got an opportunity to get in, get on with Deluxe over here. Pick Kimmy up. She's been available for the people, long time. Gang, gang, gang.
and I hate to use 275 as a marker, but once you get outside of 275, You got the Mason and the Westchester, you got the Kenwood and the Sycamore Township or Sims Township or whatever. You have a lot of blacks that do very, very well. That's not to say that blacks in the city don't, because there are a lot of blacks in Cincinnati do.
Right.
So maybe the geographical differentiation was not a good idea, but let's take that away and just look at, you got a lot of black people that do extremely well. And a lot of black families do extremely well, but then you have a lot that don't. And in some kind of way, we have to raise everybody and enhance and uplift everybody.
It's a difficult job.
It is difficult, but I tell you who's doing a great job at it is Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta, Alpha Kappa Alpha, mainly Delta Sigma Theta and Omega Psi Phi though, and probably because I know what they do a little bit more. But Black Greek letter organizations, churches, you've got some black men and women in this city that are doing great things, trying to uplift the community. We just need more of it because we're in trouble.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the violence has anything to do with the music that our young people are listening to?
Yes.
And the video games?
Right. It's a culture. It desensitizes you. You listen to rap music and hip hop. It makes you devalue women. It makes you devalue the life of black men. It's not brainwashing, but it's subliminal and it's unconscious. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's conscious and it's literal. I mean, you can't ride around and listen to the music, talking about kill this, kill that, and black women this and black women that, and not think of that. Yeah. You know, we didn't have that as much when we was coming up. But it was starting. You know, it was starting when I was in college. But
well, I know
we didn't have that as much.
They were talking about funk.
Right.
I know when we said funk, we was in trouble. We couldn't say funk. So,
but even when they did talk about sex or funk or whatever, it was in a way they romanticized it, like, you know, they didn't degrade or devalue black women as much when we was coming up as they did now. You know, we got a long way to go.
So us as radio stations, we need to play a part in that and do the right thing and play the right type of music that's not degrading women and not promoting violence. These video games off the chain, that's all they doing is kill, kill, kill.
It desensitizes you. I've had cases where people have done things, killed people, and it's clear to me that it was a very, very uncontemplative act. They just didn't think about what they were doing and not really being able to foresee the consequences. Young juveniles that I represent, like, you know, almost as if you shoot this person with this gun, that person's gonna die, and you're gonna be looking at life in prison. I think a lot of people don't grasp that like they should, and part of that might be due to the media culture and TV, the internet, videos, you know, or whatever. But a lot of people, not all people, I wouldn't even say most, some people don't get it. They don't understand the consequences of their act, and something is allowing them not to do that.
They just doing it, not even thinking. It's just,
right.
Oh my God, 11-year-old gone. Why?
And then you got the person that did it that's young too. That person's potentially young. So when I first started practicing law, like, and I've been doing it for decades, but a murder case was, you know, this guy put on all black, he had gloves on, he waited behind the tree and it was dark outside, he waited for the person to get off work, there wasn't no cameras around, wasn't nobody around, and he shot him. And you had a lot to work with because there was doubt as to whether or not this person did that. Mm-hmm. People don't kill people like that anymore. People
show their face.
Show their face, put it on Facebook. I mean, brag about killing people and then, you know, and they want to get off. So then again, how do I reconcile that?
Yeah, you put it on Facebook.
Yeah, right. You still try to beat the case, but even if you know somebody has killed somebody, the law says that they should be represented to the fullest extent of the law, and this is what my God wants me to do. So we're going to go in here and we're going to try to beat this case.
And it's been on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't care where it's been. We still going to try to beat the case because that is what I am required to do. That's what the Constitution requires me to do. And this is what my God wanted me to do as a criminal defense attorney, and that's what I'm going to do. And if somebody has a problem with that, then, you know, so be it. I stand on my Constitution and my faith.
Yeah, so I just feel like we have a big part to play as radio stations. I know some of the other ones can't control what they play.
Right.
But I know here at Busy One, we can control what we play right now. Okay. And The Wife is another good one. But we got to be conscious of what we're putting out there and putting into our young people's minds. And it's important. It's very important. We have a new artist, Kiana Sierra, that she has a song coming out on the 9th. And her listening party is going to be at Black Rose. Is it Black Rose? Yeah, Black Rose.
Well, where's Black Rose at?
In Mount Healthy.
Okay.
You've been there.
Have I?
Yes.
When? I mean, where is it at?
Okay, you know it's Mount Healthy, Hamilton Avenue.
Mount Healthy and North College.
It's that purple, it's that purple building down there. It's one of Raymond's Davenport's. And because I think it was a Q party down there one time.
How long was that?
Months ago. But yeah, it's a lot of the.
But that's all right. I mean, the Black Rose, we know where it's at now. It sounds like a nice event to go to.
Yes. This is her opening of her.
She looks like we know who she looked like.
What she look like?
Aaliyah.
She does.
Yeah, Aaliyah.
This is Barry's daughter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's Barry's daughter. So.
She's pretty.
She is very.
She's like a little girl though. She's like about 12 years old. I guess that'll be a compliment to her later on when she gets older. But she's like a baby. She don't look like an adult rapper. She's like a little girl.
Yeah,
she looks like Aaliyah though.
She does.
Yeah.
She's very talented. Mm-hmm. So, I really thank you for taking out the time.
I thank you for allowing me to come in and spend time with you and be on your show. It's an honor.
Yes, thank you. So as we wrap this up, and some closing words, what can we say to our people that is going into Christmas time, and some people don't have jobs, some people don't have the money to do Christmas. I don't really like Christmas no more, but what can we say to uplift them that you could go to you could grow up in English Woods, downtown, Lincoln Heights, but you can change what you do and change your life. You can. And what I would tell people about Christmas, Christmas is actually supposed to be about the birth of Jesus Christ. Concentrate on that as compared to receiving gifts and buying turkey and getting food. That's the real purpose. But if you are really into that, just know that it'll pass. It's like when I used to be on the punishment for like a day or two. It's like, okay, but that day or two gonna pass and I'm gonna be back out there. So Christmas will be a few days or a week and then it'll be over and then life will be back to normal. But you can change your station and your status in life. Again, I keep saying it again. Find out what God wants you to do. Find out what your passion is and then do everything you need to do to make that happen. And everything else will fall into place. You know what I mean? So you can be a poor black kid from Village Woods. I mean, you gotta stay there. You have your mansions and your penthouses and your Rolls Royces. Don't come. And you don't have to be a ball player to have it. That's right.
Yeah, I like to lead. That would be my message.
Yes.
You don't have to be a basketball player, a football player, or throwing a baseball or kicking a soccer ball. Or you don't have to do that. For that matter, you don't have to be a rapper or entertainer in order to be rich and successful. You can go to school and do that.
Using your mind.
Yes, and again, everybody has a Michael Jordan, I should say. I was going to say Magic Johnson. I'm going to use Michael Jordan. He was great. Everybody got a Michael Jordan inside of them. You got to find out what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know it's a tradition at the Bennett's house to cook some chitlins.
Yes.
You do the chitlin cooking, right?
Chitlins, pig feet. I usually eat fish and vegetables all the time, but every now and then I gotta have some of that pig.
So now, are you doing the cleaning of the chitlins?
I'm not cooking any this year. But,
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not.
Oh man.
No, I'm not. But
they were the bomb.
But I know how to clean them. I mean, clean. I ain't talking about clean. All you do is it's a skin or a membrane, and you take the membrane from the chitlin and pull it all the way apart, and then the dirt and everything else is stuck to the membrane. Once I come off, that other part of that chitlin is clean.
You hear that?
You don't pick the dirt off, like pick. You don't do that because you're gonna miss. Take the membrane, split the membrane from the actual chitlin, and then pull the membrane off, and the dirt will go off with that membrane, and then you have a clean
How to
chitlin.
cook chitlins. So what made you not want to cook them this year?
I don't have the time.
Oh, okay.
And then we got a caterer coming in, doing it, you know.
Oh, they're doing their chitlins?
No, we don't have
No
chitlins.
chitlins. No chitlins. I'm trying to find the chitlins. No, what's that?
You need to clean your own chitlins and cook your own chitlins.
I don't really eat pork,
Right.
but I like to taste that. Sometimes I want to just taste it. You know what I mean?
And you was out the house, that was about 3 or 4 years ago. You ain't been out there in a while. Because Sharon and all of them was in. I cooked a whole bunch of chitlins in.
Yes.
Yeah. It took me like a day or two to clean the chitlins.
That's how
So
you know
it takes
he's
time.
real.
You know what I mean?
He is real.
It takes too much time. I don't have the time to do it this year. And nobody eats. It would just be me eating. But let's have a party. Because Tracy and them, they don't, you know.
Anybody doing it for it?
No, they eat pork, but they don't eat like I eat.
Beef,
And I put
chicken,
too much time and
chitlins.
effort into it, and your family ain't eating. I'm like, you know what? We'll get a caterer.
So as you see, Clyde Bennett, he is just like one of you. He cleans the chitlins too. So you
And
know,
the greens.
and the greens. What more can you get?
Yeah.
I thank you. I truly thank you for
you,
tuning
too.
in. I love you.
Love you, cousin.
And we'll see you next week on the Lady Devine show. And make sure you stay positive, y'all. Stay safe. Put them guns down. And I love you. See you next week.
It's Devine.